name is Lara, and everyone calls me Lisa Lara like it's a first name. And I am 43 years old. I was born in Pomona, and I mostly grew up in South Ontario. Never with the father. I haven't seen him since I was like in third grade. My mom was always a single mom, but she was not all there. Like, she was always on drugs, heroin, pills, speed, whatever, you know? And so we kind of grew up around that environment. When I turned 12, that was the longest year till this day of my life. I started doing drugs. I stopped going to school. I became homeless. Me and my sister, worse though, we were out late. We got raped, both of us, by two men, strangers, like at probably between 12 and 2 in the morning. I'm sure it was really, really late. I got my first boyfriend at 13. I stayed with him till I was 18, and I was just on drugs like all my life since I was 12 years old. But I was like smoking PCP probably from 15 till I was 18. I would just do whatever I could whenever I could. Drinking Cisco, oh my God, so much alcohol. And he used to cheat all the time, and I just used to fight all the time. Finally, I left him, and I got together with he was our friend actually, but he was already doing 32 years to life since I was about 15. So I used to ride him, keep in contact with him. Well, when I was 18 and I broke up with him, I just ended up, we wrote each other a little differently. And anyways, turns out I ended up marrying him in prison in Corcoran. And he, probably the next year, he sent me a letter to another girl, but in my envelope. And I left him right away because I was totally not cheating on him. I thought that was dumb. So I met my husband, Jesse, at that time, which is my husband now. We've been together now, as of the 19th, just a couple days ago, 23 years. He's the only stability I've ever had in my life. Like, I've always thought something's up with him because he's just too good, you know what I mean? You can hold a job, you are nice. He took me on my first date, you know, and I was just horrible. Like, nobody's that cool. So anyways, we had our first kid probably in 1996, and that's my daughter. She's now almost 22 years old. And during all these years, though, like I'm still doing drugs. Like, I've never quit. Just only when I was pregnant. Two-faced, totally two-faced. Throughout all my life, just go home and be one way, and leave the house and be a whole different way, you know. And during that, when she was probably like not even 4 years old yet, I even eventually started cooking meth. all these blessings that I've had, and never saw God's hand in nothing, you know, like, which I didn't mention either. I used to hate God too. All the crap that's happened to me when I was a kid. I did not believe in him though, but I just did not care to worship a God who watched me go through all this, you know, when I know now he was not just watching me, he was hurting with me too, you know. In 2012, I carjacked somebody. My transmission went out in my truck, and I wasn't gonna pay for one, you know, like, and I had the money to do it too. I was just dumb, to be honest with you, and I would justify that by picking like a stripper bar. I'm like, they're pigs anyways, you know, because I don't like pigs, you know. So I picked a stripper bar, I put on a wig, I did, you know, the whole thing. I smooth got away with it though, you know. And my friend went with me only because she didn't want me to be alone. She was trying to talk me out of it the whole time as she's putting on her wig though, you know, and all this. And she's like, this is not a good idea. And I'm like, well, I'm not asking you to go, you know what I mean? Like, I got this. And she ended up going, and we found a truck, and the guy who came out, we pleasantly asked him for a ride because our brother didn't come get us. And then up the road, told him, I hate to do this to you, but you're walking from here, and I pulled a gun on him. I took that transmission and cleaned that truck out completely. Like, it was just literally like a shell. We oiled down the body. Like, I just got away with it, you know. I never had, like, probably at any time less than maybe even a pound of drugs, you know, during that year. And I even started moving it to different states and stuff. And it was me who wanted to do it. Like, I was totally people tried to talk me out of it. And I'm like, no way, it's fun. It was so fun for me, you know. And, well, one trip, the last trip, obviously, I was going to Oklahoma and I got pulled over in Texas, and they got it and arrested me and another person. We bailed out right away. Didn't learn my lesson though, and in Texas it's, I don't know how, and I already knew that before. Like, that was the only state that we used to be like, Texas, but I figured it's just through the top, and and did it a bunch of times, and this time didn't go so smooth. So these two troopers pulled us over and got 34 pounds of dope, and I got bailed out. Well, 3 weeks later, that carjacking that happened 10 months before caught up with me. It didn't catch up with me. Somebody told on me, and sure enough, they come to raid my house. This is 3 weeks after I get bailed out from Texas. So when they came to raid my house, I had just when I came back from Texas, I will give myself this one little thing. I was trying not to sell drugs no more. I didn't say I was going to quit or anything like that, but I got down to 2 ounces and brought them home so my friend wouldn't even sell them. And like 3 a.m. probably that night, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, the cops, 5 different units raided my house, and of course they got those, and I went to jail. My bail was like $460,000, I think, and nobody could get me out. Like, my friends had properties, money, everything, and they were like, mm-mm. Every bail bonds company was like, oh yeah, we could do it for sure. And then they're like, I don't know, I see there's something here that's stopping it. And I'm like, it's Texas. But so I go upstate. So now I'm sentenced, and now I'm going to prison. All the while, Texas has this hold on me, so I can't get a job in prison. I can't get a gate pass. I got a letter the very next day, which was pretty fast because, well, Jesus sent that letter. Stating that my daughter wrote me, my 17-year-old daughter again. She goes, Mom, Dad woke us up to go to church today, and we liked it, so we're going to continue to go. And I just froze, and I was like, holy crap. So I ran down the stairs to tell my friend that I was venting to, because that was amazing to me. And I told her that my friend Mindy, and she was part of my OA class right there. She impacted my life. From then on, that day, I told her, well, look, God's got my family's attention, so you definitely got mine now. We're going to work this out somehow, They're going to church, and they went the whole entire time that I was in there too, and so did I. So I started going in county to whenever church would come. We'd go out there, and I'd go out there and I actually started paying attention. And then little things would catch. And I'd be like, oh my God, I remember that. All those times when I was sitting in there, maybe, I think they God's word does not return void. And I totally know what that means now. I'd be like, what do you mean by that? I don't remember a thing in church. Well, 20 years later, I'm like, whoa, I totally remember that, because we have count time. Count time's like a great time, and it's across the whole state. 4 o'clock is count time. So we're locked in our rooms anywhere you're at in the state of California from probably 3:30 to 4:30. So there's that window, hey, I have an idea, and we would just start reading. I'd read the Bible. I started with John, and I would read John and it just became more and more interesting. And then I just started learning, and Purpose Driven Life was a pretty good book. I love that book till this day. And I just had all their attention, and it was just great because we're all just learning, and none of us are walking with the Lord, but we're all thinking about it. You know what I mean? Well, once I left there, I went to Folsom. I don't know how to explain that place. Everyone hates that prison who goes to that prison. I don't. I think it's so different because I didn't do my time for comfort. I did my time for positivity, and I wanted to change my life, and I figured if I'm going to change it, I got to start here, and that place was filled with Jesus. There was church every single day if you wanted, and the teachers who come in there, the women who come in there I love them, absolutely love them till this day. I got Bible studies from them right now at my house, that they sent me, because they're the ones that I did so many Bible studies there, and I ended up in college. There was an announcement one Sunday at church when I first got there. I got there in July, I think, of 2015. And there was an announcement in August, I think, and because I always wanted to tell the kids I'm at school, and I'm all, I signed up for Bible college. I'm really in school. And it was really neat because it was Bible college too. It was and I'm understanding this stuff now. So I'm I was just super, super duper hungry, for God's word, and because I just started understanding it. So it was like, that was like my, I don't really know how to explain it other than that was my first learning. Like, that place is cool. It's so cool. And even when I'm screwing up now, like my mind, because real life hits you when you're in a bubble all your life doing drugs, then go to prison, you're still in that bubble, come home and it's like blam. I thought I had it all together too when I came home, and it's like I start feeling all the pains and the stings from when I was a kid, and in real life hits you, and I can handle it different now though. But it's hard, you know. It's not still a walk in the park because I know Jesus. He never said we're supposed to be comfortable here though. This isn't our home. So I tell people that, like, which I always remembered since I've been home, that I'm telling people this in there, John 16:33, like, you will have troubles in this world, but take heart because I have overcome the world. You know, like that is like one of my number one, you know, scriptures to start a foundation for the Lord. Like, he never said we're going to be comfortable, and people expect, oh, you think you're walking with Jesus, life's going to be a walk in the park. Nope, not at all. But I know where I'm going, you know. It doesn't matter. This is temporary, and it impacts people.